This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 30, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington, which just celebrated its 10th million view across social media. Thanks for watching. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Hogstein Network. Well, Matt, a couple of months ago, if I had told you they're going to go 6-1 with Heineke, they're going to start kicking butt, you'd thought I was insane. Well, you do anyway, but, wow, here they are again. I thought they were going to lose that game against Atlanta at the end. That was a miracle that they managed to make a defensive stop like that. And I thought, it's going to be a bummer of a loss. But they did. They're now 7-5. They got a real chance for the playoffs. And, and it was just kind of one of those gritty, man-to-man kind of games in the rain, that you need to win.
Yeah, and these were two teams that were pretty evenly matched, realistically when looking at it. Both quarterbacks are so. Mariota's not very good at passing the ball, and Heineke is just so up and down. It's a roller coaster ride with Heineke. I really was concerned the way that Atlanta was just running through our defense. Like, it felt like they could get yards on the ground whenever they wanted. And then I guess their head coach and offensive coordinator had a brain fart and decided, hey, let's try and throw the ball. The defense showed up when they needed to. They've been relying heavily the past couple weeks on the defense, and they played well. And this was a down game, but they still came through in the end. We can't say enough about Brian Robinson and the whole running game over this win streak. They're 6 out of 7, Rick. That's incredible to me. Like, and I said this on Twitter yesterday. If Heineke had been playing against Tennessee and Detroit, we could be 9-3. And I never thought I would ever say this team is going to be 9-3. It's crazy. I had them winning 10 games at the beginning of the year and quickly changed after preseason once I started to see the Carson Wentz experience. And that's the funny thing too, is at the end of the year, yeah, Wentz would probably have better numbers. He would probably have more passing yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions than Heineke. But he doesn't have the moxie. He does not have the heart, and he does not have his teammates behind him like Heineke does.
This is why I talk about analytics doesn't mean diddly to me. It's guys like Heineke that are so different what analytics would tell you, because the numbers don't really add up for him. But somehow or another, he manages to. This team really follows him. He's got that charisma. The crowd's behind him. These are the things that numbers crunchers can't figure out. That's why nerds stay out of the locker room, because they would say, oh, don't play him. And I don't know. I wrote a column for 106.7 The Fan on Odyssey.com where I talked about it's kind of funny how this team has come into deciding the running game, because when Wentz is hurt, now they have to go to Heineke and say, well, this guy can't throw the ball the same way. We're going to have to do more of a run offense. They would have never gotten to this run offense if they still had Wentz. I really believe that. They have 3 good receivers who really don't get used nearly as much. All the people would think Dotson was going to catch all these balls. I thought, you're not going to get the chance. And now he's like alone out there basically at times. But they figured out, can they run the ball? And I wasn't sure they could with this offensive line. But they've managed to hang in there. And Robinson is showing me in the last 2 games what I saw back in August. Tough inside kind of runner, has some moves. That 8-yard touchdown catch, he just buried the guy coming at him. And, it's just ironic. If Wentz doesn't get hurt, this team is not 7-5.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's funny too, because it's almost like during the first couple games with Wentz, it was, well, we made all these, we traded all these picks for him and we paid him all this money. Let's go show everybody what we got. And, at first it was nice, he was hitting Dotson and McLaurin wasn't getting that many balls. Now with Taylor, it's just, hey, close your eyes and Terry's down there somewhere. He'll catch the ball. But yeah, and it's what is impressive to me too is with the evolution of the run with Heineke, they're using Curtis Samuel more in the run game too, which is not anything that we saw them really do with Wentz. You know, they talked about how they wanted Curtis to kind of be a Debo clone, Debo Samuel, who plays for the 49ers. Obviously, he's not as skilled as Debo is, but at the end of the day, a poor man's Debo, I'll take that, and that's kind of what they're getting out of Curtis. It's 3-4 runs a game. He can catch the short ball across the middle, and he has the speed to take it to the house. The one thing I can't wait for is when Robinson takes it to the house. The dude's a dump truck. The dude is just bulldozing over people. I get that. But man, that kid is so close to breaking one. And I have a feeling as soon as he breaks one, he's just going to run wild. He's going to turn into like Josh Jacobs from yesterday against the Seahawks, going for 200 and some yards. The kid's just not going to want to stop.
So what'd you think of Robinson wearing his big hat, which came from nogginboss.com? Which has been on Shark Tank. So this is no small thing. It's a friend of mine's business. No small thing. You've been on Shark Tank, and he's got. But that was pretty cool. I don't really get into that kind of stuff. But if you want to buy me one for Christmas, you don't need to know my head size. I should fit. Yeah, I just thought they were kind of cool.
So apparently, and it's funny too, is all the local teams in the area have been like posting pictures. Like these things aren't new apparently, because there was a picture of the Caps players with one. There was a picture of Coach Loxley wearing one with a Maryland logo on it. So these things aren't new, but I tell you, man, they've taken Twitter by storm for Commanders fans. It's crazy. That guy's going to get a lot of business off of that one little thing that Robinson did in the locker room. But I will pass, believe it or not, but I'll look into buying you one for the new studio. Maybe you can wear it one day for us.
I saw it. It was like $75, which immediately made me say, no, I'm not doing that. But I thought they were kind of funny and it was cool. And I'm not usually into that kind of thing, but whatever.
Well, hey, look, between the big hat and the left hand up, I mean, we've got enough shtick to go around this team to last us for a lifetime.
Yeah. Speaking of which, players, the Sean Taylor Memorial installation was put up shortly before the game started. I went over and saw it. And Jason Wright gave a nice speech, and the family was there. It's so wild to see Sean Taylor's daughter grown up, because it's been 15 years now. And there's a good crowd there, several hundred people waiting for it. And, okay, I guess me and a lot of other people figured they were talking about a statue, but they never said it. But semantics aside, it was underwhelming as all. A statue and honoring somebody is like, what the Ray Lewis one is in Baltimore. That's an awesome statue, and you're like, well, we're going to move this to the next stadium, wherever that is too. And they move statues all the time. I'm in the statue business as a tour guide. Mm-hmm. But I saw that and I wanted to go, what? And I mean, I had to absorb what this was. And when the crowd was getting ready, been pulling that thing off, the crowd's chanting 21, 21. They're really into it. And when they pulled that thing down, you could have heard a pin drop, I didn't see Dan Snyder there or Tanya, and I know why. They would have booed them off the concourse, so they didn't dare show up beforehand. But I just was like, wow, this looks like they dragged this out of Dick's Sporting Goods or something. And I just thought it was underwhelming.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. They went to the dollar store and bought a mannequin. They went to the pro shop and grabbed a 21 jersey off of the rack. He was wearing a Nike jersey, Reebok pants, and Adidas soccer cleats. Now, I understand Sean wore soccer cleats on the ball field. I get it. The only thing that made any kind of saving grace is he's wearing a Washington Redskins helmet. I was so afraid they were going to put the Commanders crap on him when he never played for the Commanders. That was embarrassing. The Taylor family has to have had enough. Between taking your picture in front of Sean Taylor Way in front of a bunch of porta potties to having Jackson Mahomes dance on the 21 last year and that big old botch where you're standing next to Dan Snyder looking like a hobo, let the man go. Let him live in infamy or famously or whatever. All the good thoughts that we have of Sean, let's keep those and no more honoring Sean. Okay, I'm done with it. You cannot get this right. And you said exactly what I was going to say. Go up the road to Baltimore. There's a beautiful statue for a guy that's still alive that's sitting right outside of your stadium. And yeah, all you gotta do is get a backhoe or a forklift and a truck. You can take it to the new stadium. If you're going to do statues, you have to actually have a statue. Rick, that was a high school project where they made a full-sized person and put clothes on it. It's ridiculous. The Commander's uniform reveal mannequins were nicer than this thing, and it's in plexiglass with some hexagonal light underneath of it. Whoopie-doo. You can get that on Amazon. This is a joke, man. I would hopefully like them to see with the new stadium. There should be statues at that new stadium. I would start with Joe, but this is like taking Joe Gibbs' signature R hat, his sweater vest that he used to wear, and the burgundy pants, and putting it on a coat hanger and sticking it in front of him, in a box. You know what I mean? Sean Taylor's locker is encased in the club section, and that's a better tribute than what they did yesterday. And you can only people that can afford the club level get to go see it. Now this thing is in the middle of your stadium, and it's a complete embarrassment. I love Sean Taylor just like everybody else. I've got the damn 21 towel right here. It sits on my chair every game or every show. I got it. This is from the day the game against the Bills. It's embarrassing, man. They can't get this crap right. Look, he's in the Ring of Honor or the Ring of Fame. Let's just let his name rest. Let's let the man rest, because I don't see how Portis was there. Jackie's there. His brother Gabe's there. I think the dad was there. I mean, how much more can these people take, man?
The team. What surprised me is there was no, there's no face, no arms or anything. And I thought, I'd like to hear from the artist that did this to say, are you trying to tell me something like he's gone from our lives? I don't know. I mean, sometimes with statues and stuff, you don't get it at first, but when they explain it, you do. Like the Vietnam Wall was a classic example of that, with black, and people thought it was an atrocity because monuments are white. And she explained why it's a burn mark against the earth and war and all that. And it worked out. So I would like to have seen that, but I just looked at that whole thing and thought, what? And there's just nothing to it. And there's a lot of statues that could go up. So I was sitting there thinking yesterday, is there another statue here? I don't remember one. And there isn't. And I know a lot of the older alumni are kind of tired of this too, saying, wow, why isn't Bobby Mitchell being honored like this?
Well, I'm sorry. You start with Joe Jackson Gibbs.
Yeah.
You start with Joe.
And I said the next stadium, I laid out a plan where a while ago about to create a 5G monuments park. Use the technology. Have Darryl Green's 401 going down the wall so you can measure. Things like that. There's so much you can do with the technology. The team was surprised by the blowback. But there's like, it's not a statue. And I'm like, that argument, honestly, is semantics. And that's just a distraction bait and switch thing. That's not what this is about. This is about what you did do. And it's just not good enough. That's a shame. But
yeah, and like I said, it starts with Joe Gibbs. To me, honestly, Rick, yeah, okay, we can sit here and say it's an interpretation of the man is gone, but the legend still lives type thing, blah, blah, blah. I'll say this real quick because we got to go. They put out shirts and hoodies with his image on them where he was doing that classic walk. He had his head down. They put the tape around the helmet or the face mask. There's your statue. It doesn't have to have his face. It doesn't have to have anything. Just put that silhouette in bronze or white or black or gold or burgundy. I don't care. That's your image. That is your lasting Sean Taylor image. They didn't even put the tape on the helmet. And like I said, they got a jersey out of the pro shop. You got his jerseys are got to be in that stadium somewhere. Put it on there. I mean, get one with some grass stains. Go tell Clinton Portis to run around on the field with it on. Something. Get it dirty. Make it. I can't take it anymore with this crap.
All right. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
We're out of here. See you Thursday.
Bye.